Sahana bhavatu sahanau bhunaktu saviryam karvavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Question: how does anyonyādhyāsa, the mutual superimposition, exist between Brahm and its reflection in Māyā? Answer: if seen injudiciously, the intimate association of the reality of Brahm and Ishwara is an imposition. This is how Ishwara is real. Can anybody answer me? Did you get what this word injudiciously mean? हम करके आया या विपुला?
Without any
prejudice, without any prejudice. Well, she's a European, so she can be excused. She too is like Indian, in a way. So if we, without any prejudice, judge this whole situation, then what we find is that there is a very intimate relationship in between Brahm and Ishwara. That is why the Ishwara is real. Let's say, I have my prop today. What do you see in it? Who? Wall? No?
Face.
Who?
Anika.
Yeah. So Anika there and Anika here. So we have two Anika. But as the Anika object is, so would be the reflection of Anika. So if Anika nods the head, see, nod your head and see. Is the reflection doing the same? Do no. Move your head round. Right? Now say if in a certain situation is created where the Anika object is kind of hidden from an onlooker and some onlooker can only see the reflection. For that person this reflection will be, and in a way there is nothing wrong in that, but in a way it is wrong because it is not real. Now even when you say I, your so-called I is just a reflection. Now say if Anika, the object, was mute and can't even speak, or say even is paralyzed, just fatham, and is also deaf, meaning none of the senses are working, like a doll doesn't have any senses. So we can say Brahma is like that. That's why in Gurbani there is a beautiful line where it says, Sas tav nain nan nain hai toy ko. God, you have hundreds of eyes and yet you don't have any eyes. So Brahma, because is bodiless, hence we cannot associate Brahma with any senses as such or any body as such. But say by sheer magic, the Anika who has no senses but the reflection has all the senses, That is what Maya is. This mirror, say, if is of magic, and it converts the object into like a 3-dimensional reality, or a 4 or 5 or 10-dimensional reality. See, I really, really hope that maybe someday we can invest a ride here, what I have seen in abroad, that's called the 3D rides, where you are strapped in a chair, and the chair, you just sit, and the room is all dark, and then they show you like you are on the top of a mountain, and suddenly actually they tilt the whole chair forward, as if you are hanging upside down. And then the ride of the roller coaster begins. And it's going like down and up and down, and people are shrieking, crying. And they very smartly click photos of people when they are behaving in this stupid way. Because it is so real, and then suddenly they have these gushing rivers, and they have suddenly take you at a mountain top, and suddenly you drop it. And now you know it, you are sitting on a chair. And you are strapped. And yet people are crying, and they are laughing, and they are shrieking, and they are making all that noise. That 3D show. There's another where you wear that stuff on your eyes. Many companies have and they have all these games, and they have all these things, and where people are they can feel it as if they are part of that whole scene, and they are wearing that what's it called? The virtual reality device, and they are dropping down, and they are doing whatnot. So we can say the mirror of Maya is that magic where it converts the reflection of Brahman into Ishwara. Now we have already read that Ishwara doesn't has parokshpana. It has the parokshpana. So you cannot ever say this is Ishwar by pointing your finger towards it. I have already said that Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, or Devi, or whatsoever deities we have, all the deities in Puranas here and there with different sequences, they are made to say by Vedavyasa, the author of all the 18 Puranas, makes them say that my real self is Brahma. And billions of Maheshas are manifested, and they go into dissolution. And this is Mahadev speaking to Parvati. And Parvati could not understand, because you are God, and you are saying there are billions of Mahesha in every Srashti. For every Brahmand there is one Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Because for Parvati, a woman, it was that ultimate Shiva is God, and I have wedded the God. I am wife of a God. And yet she questions that, to whom do you meditate on? And Mahadev says, I meditate on my real self. And then she says that, how come I don't know about it? Okay, I'll let you know then. Then Parvati becomes his disciple, and then in time Parvati is given this Brahma Vidya. And before the Brahma Vidya, the Yoga Vidya is given. So what we have, the Ashtanga Yoga, it is just compiled by various rishis and Patanjali and all. They are not the real expounder of this yogic method. That is Shiva. So Ishwara is real, yes. But if we see in the intimate association, in reality, to Brahma, then Ishwara is just a reflection in the mirror of māyā. Ishwara and his causality, the Swarupa, is imposed on Brahman. Thus Brahman appears to be the cause of this world. The same is exposited by self-realized masters and is mentioned in the Shruti Puranas, which explain the tatastha lakshana attributes of the aloof. In this manner, there exists an adhyāsa. Superimposition is a loose word. Try to remember the word adhyāsa, that will be better. There exists an adhyāsa between Ishwara and Brahman. Question: how can the above mentioned adhyāsa be eradicated? The above mentioned adhyāsa can be removed through viveka, discerning wisdom. What is the Vāchyārtha and Lakshyārtha of the word Tvam? Now the second part of the Tat Tvam Asi now begins. Chakshu, Kantha, Hridaya are the Desha where the Jeeva dwells. Now just remember this, that when we say dwells, it doesn't mean that Jeeva is not present in other parts. It is just that the prominence of that particular sense happens in that particular stage. Right? It's just about specifically of all the 10 senses, where would the Jeeva be in prominence? Wakeful, dream and deep sleep state are the 3 Kāla, phases of time in which it exists. Gross, subtle and causal are the 3 Vastu of Jeeva. Vastu, object. Gross, subtle and causal are the 3 bodies of Jeeva. Vishwa Taijasya, Taijas and Pragya, these 3 are the knowers of the I-ness that identifies with these states. So Jeeva is a Vishwa in wakeful, is Taijas in dreams, is called Pragya in the deep sleep. From the inception of wakeful state till moksha, the world of sensory indulgence is Jeeva's realm of functioning. Now, when the inception of wakeful state happens, till the liberation, the world of sensory indulgence will remain the most prominent, actively important part of Jeeva's functioning. The moment the wakeful state comes, all the 14 senses are active. That is the area of Jeeva. Dream state is something where obviously it is not the karamindriya, the sense actions are not active at all. But the senses of cognition and the king of this state is actually the mind. With the help of subconscious, it is the mind which plays the whole creation of the dream world and activities in that dream world, and then also creates a similar body where it identifies that body as me, who is watching the whole show. But then there is the main seer who is watching the whole show of the dream. 8 characteristics of Jeeva: limited strength, limited knowledge, finiteness, plurality, dependency, feebleness, aparokshpana, experienced directly, with upadhi of avidya. These 7, and the avidya with the reflected chidabhasa in it, their adhishtan kooṭastha, all these together are referred to as Jeeva. This Jeeva is the Vāchyārtha of the word Tvam. Tvam, you. So when you say you, when anybody says you, then this you has the avidya and the substratum basis of kooṭastha and the reflection of the kooṭastha, which is called chidabhasa. And obviously when the antakaran is in the role, antakaran is not in the air, it is kind of contained in this one gross body. Right? Antakaran in itself is the subtle body, you can call it. And so all these, the adhisthana, kooṭastha, the chidabhasa, the avidya. So from avidya the antakaran is formed. But they are not naming the antakaran over here, they are naming the avidya, the source from where this mind is formed. So we are talking about the source. Because part of the antakaran is not functioning in two states. But avidya is present everywhere. Hence, avidya is called here. Vāchyārtha, the literal meaning of Jeeva, is this. On discarding these along with the chidabhasa, the one who remains is the adhisthana of the gross subtle causal body, vice the Jeeva sakshi kooṭastha Ātman, which is the Lakshyārtha of the word Tvam. So although when we say Tvam, now how many people have this wisdom that this you is exactly what? So in a way, people don't know who they are. And when you don't know who you are, then whatever actions you might do or whatever statements or promises you might do, don't ever believe that they are dependable. Because it's like a drunkard person promising you, giving you $10 million as a loan. Don't believe the person is drunk. So a jiva who is a drunk on avidya, such person is not dependable at all. Because that person is already blinded. So how can you have trust on a blind person? So the mother is saying, I am your mother, I am your mother. What is true? She is not. She might be mother for holding the seed in her womb for some time. But once the baby is out, the mother actually wants to obligate the baby to listen to her and serve her and be under her control just because she kept the baby in the womb for 9 months and nurtured until she or he became an adult. So mother has her own set of greed and selfish motives. Father has his own. Sister and brother have their own. And the child has their own. So whatever your relationship funda is with the society at the moment, know it, everybody is standing on the stool of greed and expectations. And all of them are blinded with their own avidya. So in a way they are all drunk. Hence a rishi says, I have no trust or faith onto worldly people because they are already blinded and helpless. And what I am looking for is something which they, even if they want, they cannot fulfill. Like, even if they want, they cannot stay with you always. One of them will die. And sometimes when they quarrel or get upset, they just create a distance. They are as good as dead. As good as dead. And in a way, everybody in their heart sometimes, have this tinge of disgust that people are not what they exhibit themselves to be as. Whereas this person who is complaining is also diseased with the same sickness. yet but will be accusing others. So this is why, because the Jeeva is finite. So knowledge is limited. Wisdom is limited. Powers are limited. Alapagya, absolutely powerless. So when we say Jeeva, that is the Vāchyārtha of the word Tvam. Now what's the Lakshyārtha? On discarding these along with the Chidabhasa, the one who remains is the adhisthana of the gross subtle causal body, is the Jeeva Sakshi, kooṭastha Atman, which is the Lakshyārtha of the word Tvam. So in a way you can see it like say there is an onion and you peel the external layer and then you peel another layer and then you peel another layer and then you peel another layer. And actually then you find nothing in there. So it's like you have to peel the layer of Chidabhasa, then you peel the layer of avidya, and what is left is the Sakshi Chaitanya. Why isn't Jeeva as a remainder when we have peeled the Chidabhasa? Jesse?
Because the Jeev is the reflection of Brahman in avidya, antagana. So those three are required to make the Jeev.
Question: how does mutual adhyāsa exist between the kooṭastha and its reflection in the intellect, that is the Jeeva? If seen unjudiciously, the intimate association of reality of kooṭastha with the Jeeva is an imposition. Therefore, Jeeva does not appear illusory, it appears to be real. Same thing. There is adhyāsa, there is this imposition of kooṭastha's reality is getting imposed upon to the reflection. Hence the Jeeva seems to be real. Forget about Jeeva. Everybody thinks this body is real. Everybody thinks this I in the body is real. And if they move a little further, like which everybody does, at least in Bharat, that when somebody dies, then the family is saying, oh, we have to pray for the departed Jeeva. Sometimes they'll use a loose word like Atma. We have to pray for his or her Atma. So by compulsion, they will call a priest, they will go to Hridaya, they'll do all the rites. And so they know, in a way, everybody knows, at least in Bharat I would say, that we are not a body. But when the body is alive, everybody thinks, I am body. But when a person dies, see, this is beauty of this country. In a way, everybody is Jnani. Everybody knows the fact. But the darkness is so deep that when that particular body is alive, the person and people around him, they all think he is or she is that body only. And all life you are just living for the body. Feed it, clothe it, bathe it, give rest to it, buy objects for it, polish it. They have these days, it used to be in America, but now even in India they have these nail bars. Ayurveda says nail is dirt of body. Hair and nail are kind of dirt of the asthi. And just to decorate this asthi, there are bars which decorate the nails, and millions of billion of rupees are spent on hair, which is dirt of asthi. So that body obsession is so strong. But still when a person dies, everyone in the family is saying, oh, we have to pray for the departed soul. Suddenly the person becomes a soul. Jeeva and its nature of doership, etc., is imposed on the kooṭastha. That is why kooṭastha does not seem to be the non-doer, non-experiencer, non-worldly, eternally liberated, unattached Brahm. It seems to the contrary. Now that is your experience, right? That we don't have any knowledge, we don't know what the truth is, we don't know what liberation is, we don't know what it means to be one with Brahm, we don't know what the Atma is. It's a hell of avidya flying everywhere. But the reality of the kooṭastha is hidden, is kind of behind this veil of darkness. It's like camouflaged in this darkness. So the reality is hidden, and what is visible and what is experienced is the unreal, which is a superimposition of the avidya, and kooṭastha is not seen, and this false self is seen as I. So what is the Lakshyārtha? Lakshyārtha is to peel off all these layers and remove this adhyāsa which has happened. So in this manner there is a mutual adhyāsa between kooṭastha and Jeeva. How can the above mentioned adhyāsa be eradicated? The above mentioned adhyāsa can be removed through viveka. Question stated in the Mahavakya: how is the unity between the two words Tat and Tvam established? Although the Vāchyārtha of the words Tat and Tvam is the upadhi associated Chaitanya, while the Ishwara and the Jeeva, there is a confliction in their unity. Why is there confliction in between Ishwara and the Jeeva? Rishikesh? Due to upadhi. If you see the upadhi, then both are very different. But if you remove the upadhi, then they are one. So, am I one with Brahm? Answer is yes and no. If I am stuck with my upadhi, I am different. But even when you say I am different, you are not different. It's like the child is sleeping in the mother's lap but thinks that I am lost, is dreaming and is crying. So even when that child is thinking I am lost, is not lost. However, considering the Lakshyārtha of Tat as Brahm and Lakshyārtha of Tvam as Atma, there is no confliction in their unity. This is how the unity between the meaning of the two words Tat and Tvam as implied in the Mahavakya is established. Question: I am Brahm, such unity of Brahm and Atma will be realized by whom? Now, who is asking this question? Who is asking this question? Who wants to have liberation? Who is the person? Is it I or is it Brahm? If I am Brahm, then who is lost? The answer is this knowledge is realized by the Chida Abhasa. Coming back to the reflection again, the reflection in the mirror, see again. Can you see? Can you see yourself? Huh? Yeah? कहाँ? यहाँ? कहाँ? आया? हाँ. Say if somehow by some magic this reflection of Vikas begins to think who I am. If reflection of you or you or you begins to have their own mind, And then it asks, from where did I come? So this reflection has to be taught. You are not real. Shut up. You are reflection of someone else. So the question is not being asked by, may you want to see your face? No. The way he is doing this. See, you are so obsessed for his looks. So Chidabhasa is asking the question, who is Brahm? What is Atma? Atma is not asking, Brahm is not asking. So Brahm and Atma is actually are same. It's not two different things. But Chidabhasa is different. But see the irony, the Chidabhasa is real for you, which is an illusion. And that which is real, you wonder, how am I Atma? You still can't gulp it. You still can't digest it that you are Atma. How can I be Atma? I am hungry. I get greedy. I get angry. How can I be Atma? And Atma is Shuddhosi, Buddhosi, Niranjanosi, Sansara Māyā Parivarjitosi. But I don't seem to be like that. So that is Chidabhasa, who is confused, lost, bondaged, burdened, sinner, all stuff.